Well, it's Wednesday, midweek Wednesday, the 15th day in the month of July 2020. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform. It is the pinnacle of all discussions right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state. Once again, welcome. It's a part of the morning show, the Morning Spice, right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the pinnacle of all discussions where we take a look at issues, in-depth analysis of stories, and of course, a particular issue as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria, and also as it affects our dear state, Abia State. My name is Michael Oni. Now, Niger Delta Development Commission, Nddc, at the mention of that commission, what is the picture in your mind? To some, it's the picture of a commission meant to develop the Niger Delta regions, while to some, it's a cash cow to politicians. And of course, to some, it's a commission in charge of so many abandoned projects. So we're taking a look at the core mandates of the commission today, just as we juxtapose it with the allegations of corruption presently ravaging that commission this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM. The latest is the war of dirty words between the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and also the former chairman of the chairperson of the interim management committee of that commission. Well, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, and the former managing director, the MD of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Joy NUNIEH, were embroiled in war of words over what transpired between them when NUNIEH was the MD of that commission. In fact, the woman, Joy NUNIEH, the former MD of that commission, alleged that she slapped Godswill Akpabio for sexually harassing her. While speaking on the television interview that we monitored, you will get to hear that audio clip later on this morning. She said that the incident happened at the minister's guest house in Abuja, but the minister, in a swift reaction, described the allegation as balderdash, saying NUNIEH was aggrieved because of her removal from office for offenses ranging from insubordination to her inability to produce her National Youth Service Corps NYSC certificate, and in her reaction to the alleged harassment proved her intolerance for nonsense as a woman from Rivers State. So a lot has happened when she was summoned in front of a committee at the Senate, that's at the National Assembly, to talk about some of how monies were misappropriated, allegedly mismanagement of about 40 billion naira by the Interim Management Committee. Now let's listen to some damning revelations made by Joy NUNIEH about Godswill Akpabio.
Late for the hearing and was asked to speak.
If you don't do what I say, the same pen with which I used to sign your letter, it will be the same pen that I will use to remove you. He said the first thing I should do when I get to Port Harcourt is to change the dollars in the Nddc account. I was scared to do that. After that, he came to Port Harcourt 2 days after the inauguration. He said the first thing I should do is to make sure I change the dollars. I should remove Mr. Kaltungo from being legal and send him on compulsory retirement, that we cannot have a northerner be the head of the legal team, of the legal unit. He said I should remove all the other directors that refused to take his instruction during the time of Mrs. Agwagaga. That was the predecessor before I came. So he came also with a draft, which I've submitted, with a draft letter that I should write and put it on my letterhead, implicating Senator Mobushi for collecting contracts in Nddc. I told him that I will not, I'm a lawyer, and that whoever alleges must prove. The fact that Senator Mobushi is giving us trouble as IMC, you remember also that they did not recognize the IMC. I said I will not do that letter. He said I was ungrateful and I refused to do the letter. Dr. Cairo now said that he will do the letter. If Akpabio tells him to kill, he will kill before he asks, why did he kill? I said, for me, I will not do the letter. At that place, there was Mr. Etiebet, who was the only staff of the NDDC that was present at that meeting. When he finished, he now asked Dr. Cairo to go and send for the letter-headed paper from the office. They now sent for the letter-headed paper. Dr. Cairo now did the letter, which I've also submitted to the committee, alleging that Senator Wabushi had contracts. Then he said, I must sign the cover letter. I said, if I sign any document from me seen by Mr. President, he will believe every line of it.
All right, she went on and on and on, some damning revelations about Godswill Akpabio, the Minister of for Niger Delta Affairs. Now, the biggest one, I believe, that caught the attention of so many journalists was when she explained that she slapped Godswill Akpabio. Listen to this.
The woman, the only Nigerian woman that has slapped his face.
Why did you slap him? Why did you slap him?
He slapped him because of his plan B. He thought that he could, since he couldn't get me to take that money, he thought that plan B, if it could come up on me. He didn't know that I'm a Port Harcourt girl. Port Harcourt girls are not moved by money, by somebody telling me that you make me a substantive MD. The Port Harcourt girls are
Can we clarify this? Because this is, we can't gloss over.
So, Godswill Akpabio, the former senator and of course the former governor of Akwa Ibom State, has responded to those allegations. We take that side of the story, but we need to go straight to the conversation this morning. We're taking a look at the issues in the Niger Delta Development Commission, the corruption, financial recklessness, and the voodoo fetish oaths. The Niger Delta Development Commission, those are allegations, anyways, under the Interim Management Committee, as unveiled at the recent public hearing of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee. Do not forget, this particular commission has been in the public for several reasons, as cash cow, alleged cash cow for several politicians and the likes. But joining us this morning on the conversation right here on the platform is the lead director, Center for Social Justice, and the public affairs commentator, Eze ONYEKPERE. Glad to have you join us again this morning, Eze.
My pleasure.
I know it will come as a surprise, some of these damning allegations being made, and of course in the public it's also a disgrace to a commission as big as the Niger Delta Development Commission. Now the question is, has the Niger Delta Development Commission lived up to its expectations?
Definitely no. The commission has failed in its duty to alleviate the suffering and promote sustainable livelihoods in the Niger Delta. Rather, it's become an opportunity for corruption, a cesspool of corruption, and where people go to do all kinds of things that we cannot simply fathom. Those allegations that are coming out are simply disgraceful, and the president, with the minister, and all those who are involved should all be relieved of their office and then handed over to the prosecuting agency to have their day in court. And if you look at what is happening at the commission, it is simply a failure of transparency and accountability. Why do I say this? There is nowhere you go and find in either printed copy or on the website of the commission their proposed budget. They don't make their proposed budget public.
All right. Before we delve into the problems now, at the mention of Niger Delta Development Commission, what comes to your mind?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. If you look at the prism of why the reason for its establishment, why it was established in the first place, what should come to your mind is that development to the Niger Delta. But if you look at what they have turned it into, all you get impression about is a place where people go and get what doesn't belong to them, get easy money, get contracts that should be done with $1 million, get it in $1 billion, share the money, don't do anything. So all the things that come up to your mind are just very extremely dirty scandals. So that's unfortunate.
Now, those allegations that were raised in the after that public hearing, were very damning allegations, corruption allegations under the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Is there anything wrong with the structure of the NDDC that needs to be corrected for optimal performance?
That's what I was trying to talk about.
Okay, please go on, Eze.
I am saying that the trouble is not about Apabi, not about NUNIEH or those who have here before. It's about procedural and structural problems. One, I was saying that when they draft their budget, the proposals, before they bring it before the National Assembly, it is neither published in hard copy nor can you go to their website and find a copy. When the National Assembly approves of it, it is neither found in a hard copy nor do you find it in their website. Now, they do not publish quarterly budget monitoring reports, which is what the law says they should do. Neither do they publish half-yearly or end-of-the-year budget implementation reports. Their procurement system is skewed. Nobody has done a procurement audit here to find out whether they are complying with the laws. Evidently, they are not complying with the laws if you look at all the stories that are coming out. So my fear for this is simple. Publish your budget. Let everybody know. Publish budget monitoring and implementation reports so that citizens can begin to ask questions to be part of it. It's not just taking a cabal, a group of people, and allowing them to be managing billions of naira every year with nothing coming out of it. Transparency and accountability is key to the improvement of the workings of that commission.
Interesting. So why do we still have monumental poverty in the Niger Delta despite having a commission for development for that region of the country?
Well, the answer is straightforward. You write the stories of how the money never gets to the intended beneficiaries, that the money is withheld and shared by the politicians, governors, ministers, and everybody who thinks it's somebody that has a link to the commission. So the money never gets to the people that it is intended. And this is because there's lack of transparency. There's nobody holding them accountable. Even all this noise in the media will soon fizzle down, and the people go back to their sharing formula. That's what they've been doing year after year, and they should not be allowed to continue.
What do you think should be the reaction of the Mr. President, President Muhammadu Buhari?
Well, I have said that if the president is still alive to his duty, he should start everybody there and open up a transparent and credible process for getting people into the port. There are things that can be done. You can ask anybody who thinks he can serve on that board from the Delta to make an application, and then let people vote. Let people bring forward comments about the credibility and suitability of such a person to serve on the board. Not just because you are a politician of the APC, then they take you there. You could see even people, young men from in Europe and America, who on scholarship coming up to say they've not received the guide since over 1 year. Here, these people want to travel to go and see people they've not paid their school fees. That really is too disgraceful. Ordinarily, this is the kind of thing for which people, who say that state penalty should be reintroduced for corruption, but I'm not of that view. But it's so painful with the kind of things they're doing. Very greedy human beings.
Okay, Eze, let's take a look at the latest one now. The issue of corruption in the NDDC is not starting today. Even it predicted back to before Senator Akpabio was nominated as the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs. What do you make of the latest one, the spat between the minister and the former managing director of the NDDC?
It's regrettable, it's childish, it's unbecoming, and I don't know what other adjective I can use for old men and women here, old man and old woman who should be grandfathers to come to the public to be talking nonsense. I mean, it's arrant nonsense. So she's married 4 husbands. So he toasted me. He wanted to. Is that childish? When he toasted you, why didn't you tell Nigerians? Huh? Are you just what is your business with whether a man has married 4 husbands? Following shenanigans should not come from that outfit. And that's why I'm saying that they have desecrated the temple. 2 of them should go for the minister and that woman. They should not near public office. It's been enough of such characters, because this is not just to Nddc or Niger Delta, but to the whole country. Imagine somebody who is not a Nigerian about this. What will he take off? They will call us a bunch of fools who don't know how to run themselves. The two of them should go. They should be fired.
Now, this latest part now, unfortunately, it's a setback to the corruption fight of the President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, if you ask me. But we've been able to highlight the problems. What about the solution? What should be the way forward so that we can have the development needed for the Niger Delta region of the country through this commission?
Insist on transparency and accountability. Introduce a process that only throws up the names of credible people to serve in the country, who should be facing trial. From all the investigation that has been done by USCC and ICPC, we are still recycling them. Throw up that process so that credible people come on board. Insist that whoever comes on board is transparent and accountable. Ensure the Public Procurement Act is fully implemented to the letter. Let the Bureau of Public Procurement exercise due oversight over how they are managing the money.
But Eze, how do we ensure transparency? When Joy NUNIEH was coming on board, her transparency wasn't in doubt until these damning allegations have been made right now. Also, Senator Rapabio, who is in charge of that the ministry at the federal level, no one doubted his transparency also.
What are you talking about? Why did Rapabio leave? Why did Rapabio leave PDP to APC? What are you talking about? Nobody doubted. Are you not in Nigeria? You didn't hear the story of what happened?
My question is
why he was forced
just a moment, Eze. Just a moment. How do you ensure? How do we know someone that is transparent enough to hold such
authority
an office?
Let me explain to you. That's why I'm asking you. Why should somebody undergoing EFCC investigation, who EFCC has found out should have a day in court to answer for corruption, why should you nominate him to fly your flag under any guise and thereafter give him a ministerial position simply because he joined over to your party? Is that the way to run the country? There is a police, there is EFCC, there is ICPC, they have documentation on these things. There are intelligence reports. So it's not a question of asking me how. That's why we pay people. That's why you pay tax. That's why I pay tax. That's why for every little transaction you do, value added tax. I bought some credits for electricity, and it was just credits for about 50,000 naira, and we were charged 3,000 for this, something for value added tax. Who is taking that money? Whoever is taking it, we've already entrusted it to manage this. So if you want to find honest Nigerians, you'll find them. If you want to go with crooked Nigerians, you also find them. It's not a difficult thing to find.
Okay, now there is a solution provided by Professor Itse Sage, saying that commission should be disbanded. So given the prevailing circumstances, do you subscribe to the professor's stand that it should be disbanded?
What will take its place? If you disband it, what should take its place? Then nothing will be done in the Niger Delta. This is just like saying you have a call saying this headache has been disturbing me or you. Bring a knife to cut off the head. That's not the way to go. Clean the system, don't disband it. And cleaning it is not rocket science. It's very, very simple. All these guys and charlatans, then before the courts, they don't have their day. Put in another person, have speedy trials. If you appoint 10 people and 10 of them ended up having life imprisonment for stealing money, the next person coming with them. It's a straightforward thing. There's no big deal about it.
Great. All right. I want to really appreciate your time this morning. Eze ONYEKPERE, the lead director, Center for Social Justice and a Public Affairs commentator. Thank you always for your response on this program, The Platform.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. So that's Eze. You heard him analyze some of those issues in that particular commission, which very unfortunate damning allegations, and I told you earlier that I will tell this side of the story for the Niger Delta Affairs. Godswill Akpabio, that the minister, though he refused to respond to the former managing director of interim management committee for the Niger Delta Development Commission, Joy NUNIEH, who accused him of sexually harassing her. But Mr. Akpabio said the minister had a character problem and claimed that was best shown in her failed marriages about 4 husbands. That's the response given by Mr. Akpabio. Speaking, that was on Monday. He said that Mrs. NUNIEH said that the minister had tried to come on her and sexually harass her with a promise she would be retained as NDDC chief. However, the minister was confronted with the allegation in Abuja. He refused to talk on the issue. I quote, "We should not focus on sensationalism and pull him down syndrome. For me, that the development of the Niger Delta region is what should engage our attention. As a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I cannot discuss about an individual. I can discuss issues that will bring development and move the region forward, things that will promote the ideals of the federal government." And later, the minister appeared on a TV program, and we followed that TV program where the minister also dismissed the allegations of a 40 billion naira of NDDC funds squandered under his watch. So it's been back and forth allegations and counter allegations in that particular commission. So the question is, what time, when are we going to see the end of corruption at the Niger Delta Development Commission? That's the big question we're asking this morning. Anyways, we're still trying to get across to Koripamo Egule, the Secretary General of the Niger Delta the Advocacy Group, all the way from Rivers State, before we throw the lines open this morning on the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM.
At Flow 94.9 FM, we've got conducive and well-secured environment for business, high-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
All right, it is still the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state, and we have someone from that region joining us this morning, all the way from Rivers State, Koripamo Egule, the Secretary General of the Niger Delta Advocacy Group. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. You're live on Flow 94.9 FM, Umuahia, the capital of Abia State, and my name is Michael. Now, let's go straight to the questions. Enough of the politics in that particular Niger Delta Development Commission. Now, the big issue here is, how did the people of Niger Delta received the unfortunate news of the allegations of corruption going on in that commission?
Well, the news came in as a very sad story because we never knew that such issues could be going on. But I think that should be an in-house issue, because the corruption issue, well, is just a normal issue that will always come up in every situation.
Oh, great. Now, it involves a daughter of Rivers State. It's involving a daughter of Rivers State, Joy NUNIEH. I don't know what will be the position of your group in this whole scenario playing out in that commission.
My group is not that we are partisans, but when it comes to transparency and accountability, our daughter is a very good and reliable daughter, which, because we are in Rivers State and we know what she really did for our people, most especially the true goal is allegation given to us. We, the people of the Niger Delta Advocacy Movement, we are not in support of such allegations, but we know and we always expect this kind of allegations to always come up.
Now, with the plight of Niger Deltans, we want to know, because it looks like the commission has not been able to live up to the expectation of the people of Niger Delta. What are your plights again? What do you want?
One thing about Nigeria and our region as a whole, continuity is a matter of issue. Every administration that comes in don't think of continuity, always think of what next to do. Let me do more better. But we talk of continuity. It is always a paramount issue. So, the development of the Niger Delta, I think NDC have been trying their best. The issue is the continuity is always a problem.
So the issue of continuity now, Professor Itse Sagay preferred a solution to the issue on ground, the allegations of corruption ravaging that commission. He said that the commission should be disbanded. There should be no NDDC's the Niger Delta Development Commission, since that commission is serving as cash cow to some politicians. What will be the... Professor Itse Sagay is preferring a solution to the issue on ground concerning the allegations of corruption in that commission, since it is serving as cash cow to some politicians. Disbanding of NDDC, what will be your reaction?
Well, my reaction to that, because I know that NDDC is never a cash cow to any politician. They are there to develop the region, and as we speak to you, we know what NDDC has really done for the people and how they have developed the people. But the issue where I am always going into is a lack of continuity. So if I am asked to prefer a solution, I will always tell them that in any administration that comes up, continuity must always be a paramount something, that they should forget about every other kind of words of corruption, and let's come together and think on how we can go on a continuity to better our region.
Okay, in your region, has the commission lived up to its expectation?
Yeah, in my region, the commission has lived up to expectation, because one, in this way you cannot satisfy the whole masses, very well. And the few that the commission was able to reach out to, at least they've lived up to expectations.
But we've had reports of abandoned projects lying fallow in several parts of the Niger Delta Development Region. I don't know if you're aware of that.
When you talk of these abandoned projects, that is where I see coming continuity. And who are these contractors that we are awarded these projects? Because one, these contractors, if they are to finish their project, then the NDDC will not be in blame. But if these contractors don't finish the project, these same contractors will still go back and say NDDC has done nothing.
Interesting. So what is the solution? You're saying continuity should be the solution so that things will be done rightly in the region, Niger Delta Development Region.
Yeah, continuity should be the most paramount something, and they should forget about every forms of corruption, that this person stole money, and no. Let's think on how we develop our areas.
All right. Thank you very much, Korepamo Egule, the Secretary General of the Niger Delta Advocacy Group, for joining us all the way from Rivers State this morning.
All right. Thank you also, Mr. Michael.
Okay, now you have an idea of what is happening in that commission. It is time for you to participate. We want to hear from you this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM. The lines are very much open. 0808 182 6949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Also WhatsApp. You can send your message through WhatsApp on 0906 510 8289. You can also call 0811 605 2949. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Madu Edward, aka Editor-in-Chief / Iron Pillar. This morning I call from Lutua Falikiklanzebo.
Welcome, Mr. Madu.
Thank you. You see, you can see what it says against it. Why did he say that? Because they are not benefiting from NDDC. Then they are fighting all tooth and nail to see what they can do to scrap NDDC out from the system. And they are seeing it now. It is now the opportunity that the APC government who are in power to scrap it out. Because of what? Because of this corruption that is going on in NDDC 247. Look at NDDC was a commission that established during the time of Obasanjo to develop the Niger Delta areas. Now, it has become a food investment opportunity for some of our people being given to minister that commission. Look at what is going on. That the commission that was established to develop these areas, lapidated areas, erosions and other things, they can't concentrate on doing that. What they concentrate is to embezzle the whole fund, set up a contract and collect the money and begin to give us an excuse. Look at what that woman was saying. Look at what they are saying upon how to develop our area. Get what we are looking for: education, free market, scholarship, and the skills and other things that have been made that they lost that money for. None of them are being given to the benefiters. What they are doing, look at Akadio, former two times governor, one time senator. He has all the money, still looking for the same money. While when he was in PDP,
all right,
APC,
quickly wrap up with
him of corruption, of money laundering. Now he's in APC, his sins are forgiven. Today, what are we teaching the upcoming ones? It's all about corruption. Nigerians are hungry. Youths are hungry. Not even palliative they give to the Niger Delta people. Not even health. Not even medical. Everything is lapidated. And they are talking all manner of things. But now I thought that Mr. President should have...
Mr. Madu Edward, your time is up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is George. I'm calling from Abang.
Welcome, George.
Michael, I want to use this opportunity and thank Mr. President Muhammadu Okechukwu Buhari for his good fight in this corruption of his team. He's really doing good, Michael. Michael, if there is no investigation, there will be no suspect. So let him keep up in this his fighting against corruption. Let him extend it here in other states. Please, we are begging him. Even EFCC, let them extend this corruption fight to other states. We are tired. Other states is among Niger states in this Nigeria. Please, let them help us here in other states. Everybody is shouting.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much for your contributions still. Hello, good morning to you.
Michael, good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. This is Perry, calling you from Amuzuku.
Welcome.
Michael, I'm bleeding in my heart. I'm so ashamed of some of our leaders in Nigeria here. It's quite unfortunate that this revelation is coming at a time like this. It's quite disheartening, very despicable. Look at people who are old enough to be grandfathers and grandmothers. Look at what they are saying with their mouth. Quite unfortunate. What are we going to learn from some of our leaders? Some people are not happy that we have this kind of commission in this part of the nation, the Niger Delta region. Some people, I'm telling you with facts, I've been to the northern area, I've been to the western area, a whole lot of them are not happy. And this thing came to us during Obasanjo era. Niger Delta should have been the London of Nigeria today, or the New York of America today. My brother, I wonder what is going on in Nigeria. Look at the huge amount of money people are diverting into their personal account. Misappropriation of funds meant to develop the Niger Delta. Some few people are making use of it, and they don't care about the poor, and the poor are dying in their numbers on daily basis, and nobody cares. In Nigeria, the rich gets richer every day, while the poor gets poorer, and not only getting poorer, they die in their poverty. It's quite unfortunate. And somebody will tell me that he's fighting corruption, whereas corruption is swimming deep in your administration, under your own very nose, and you're doing little or nothing about it. Don't be surprised that the case of Magu will be swept under the carpet, just like that of Babachi Lawal. There are some cabals in Nigeria, no doubt about that. My brother, have a nice day.
All right, thank you very much. On the WhatsApp line, this one says, Kingsley says that the NDDC is meant to be an aiding agency, not an enrichment business. Corruption has really dealt hard on that agency, and I'm really happy that at least some skeletons in the cupboard has been revealed. Mr. President should prove his fight and conduct a thorough investigation. Weighty punishment should be given out to culprits. Kingsley on the WhatsApp line. Keep your messages coming on that line, 0906 09165108289. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Charles from ONYEKPERE.
Welcome, Charles.
Yes, I want to commend and congratulate our president because what is happening now can happen only under Buhari. We have not had situations like this before. All these exposures are indicative that the corruption fight is going on. Because under past administrations, especially PDP, nobody would have heard about this thing. It would have been they are agreeing, sharing their money and going on. So Nigerians, those of hypocrites who come and say there's no fight, corruption is not being fought and this like that. So are they not happy that all these things are being exposed? They are being exposed because Buhari is the head of state. If not, it wouldn't have been like that. So we should commend him. If I want to hear that Buhari is involved in those things, I want to hear that Buhari has accounts overseas. I want to hear that Buhari built houses, 1 million houses everywhere. So he's trying. What is happening at the federal level is a tip of the iceberg. Where the main thing is at the state level, my brother. That is where we have the corruption. Buhari is paying pensioners, he's paying workers, he's doing projects, building second Niger.
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts.
At the state level, it is where we have. That is why at the state level they cannot pay workers, they cannot pay teachers. Pensioners are dying. It is because of corruption. So the main corruption. About what is happening at the, you want to hear. Like we are hearing Magu on the other places. There are many Magus in all the states, especially my state, Abia. I want to hear that what is happening at the federal level, what Buhari is doing at the federal level, it is also happening at the state.
All right, your time is up, actually.
It's good for Nigerians.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
So I commend the president. He should specify himself.
Okay, let's take a look at the messages. Uziza OKB says it's unfair to hear this news that a serving minister with the Nddc was accused of sexual embarrassment with his secretary, a woman they also accused marriage to 4 divorced men. And to me, when woman is irresponsible to expose such a dirty news to the public. Chief Kalu from Aba says, what is happening in Nddc is the same happening to Asopadek, Abia. All right. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Reverend Jessica.
All right.
Mibo Bakala.
You're welcome.
Bless you. Thank God for that. God is exposing all these atrocities happening in our country where many people are suffering and dying. A few privileged individuals who made their way through there decided to perpetrate hardship upon the nation. God is actually watching. Nevertheless, I have to commend the present administration, as my brother who just spoke recently said, that all these things are being exposed during their time. The truth is that they should be exposed. They should be, forwarded for the law to take up its full course on them, because nobody is a scapegoat. Nigerians have suffered so much. Go to the north, you see development, and the same people said this commission was established for the development of Igbo land and other Niger Delta area. Few privileged individuals where they are using it to settle their diaspora and do a lot of things. So the truth is that I am not advocating for the solution of Niger Delta Commission, but that the law will take its course by stacking those people, prosecuting them, and then allowing the justice to prevail, so that there are transparent people that could be called into that place to see great development in Niger Delta area. So God, we should pray for our president that God will give him wisdom to show justice to this situation so that our nation will move forward.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Uche. I'm calling from World Bank.
Welcome, Uche.
Mike, I want to join us in thanking Mr. President in the person of Muhammadu Buhari. We really need to commend him for this, his fighting against corruption. We really need to commend him, even here in other states. I want to also join George also to ask President Muhammadu Buhari, let them come down here in other states. There are a lot of mago going on, a lot of corruption going on in other states. Look at Abia Line Transport. They are owing them 25 months. How do you expect them to survive, Michael? How do you expect them to survive? Tomorrow, all of them will come out on air and be telling us they build roads, they build this, building road on air, on radio stations. Every morning we hear them praising nonsense set of people that we don't know where they're coming from.
Hold on, just a moment. You can share your thoughts and opinion, but you don't use uncivilized words on radio. Very important, please.
Okay. Right. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Just that I love Flow FM. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. I know you love Flow FM. We also love you.
So EFCC should also come down to Abia State, because Abia State is also Niger State in this country. If you give Abia State government money to develop this state, you will not hear about it. In the case of Magu, I want to tell Nigerians they should watch Muhammadu Buhari would definitely sentence Magu to prison. Thank you. Long live Muhammadu Buhari.
Thank you for your contribution. Let's not forget the issues at hand here, although we take one or two calls before we wrap up the program this morning. The platforms, the NDDC, the latest, the allegations, and of course, as we take a look at the structure of that commission. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Mike. Good morning, Mike.
You're welcome. Good morning to you.
Emily from Isukwata.
You're welcome.
Mike, you can see when the EDDC was formed about 10 years ago, and the amount of money that has been budgeted for Niger Delta, it's mind-boggling. If this money were used judiciously by those entrusted with it, and most of them are from the Niger Delta, most of those people that headed the commission were from the Niger Delta, and they squandered the money that would have, made Niger Delta New York of Nigeria. And later now, the indigenous will start agitating. Why shouldn't they hold their brothers who have squandered the money? It's very unfortunate, Mike. It's very, very unfortunate.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution, and that's how far we can go this morning on the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. The program returns on Friday. Many thanks to the producer, Samson Eze. The video version of the program will be on our YouTube page later on Flow FM TV. That's at www.youtube.com/Flow FM TV. Many thanks for joining. Coming up, top of the hour is Abia State COVID-19 update. Do enjoy the rest of your day. My name is Michael Oni.